Alright. Fuel selector, we're going to leave it on left. Engine gauges all look good. Trim, haven't moved it, it's still neutral. Transponder to alt. Doors are shut. Flaps, one notch. Alright. So, you know what ADS-B is?
No.
This has it built in, but I actually have a separate device just in case I have an electrical failure. That right there, I just connect to Wi-Fi on it, and it'll download weather and traffic onto my iPad for me, and it'll show me where all the airplanes are relative to where we are, right?
Okay.
I don't see any airplanes yet. Traffic is... See, there's some planes over there. They're 5,500 feet above us, 1,600 feet above us. So it gives you a better situational awareness. South Valley traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie's holding short, runway 34, South Valley. Alright. We'll go down that way. Unless you want to go the other way since you haven't gone that way.
I'm good either way.
Okay. I like Utah County, it's good view.
Good view.
Alright, you see any airplanes coming in?
I do not.
Alright. See this blue block? 6,000 feet is the bottom, 12,000 feet is the top of Class B airspace, so we just need to, if we're in this block, we stay below 6,000.
Okay.
And when we head that way, stay below 8,000, 9,000, right? Alright. Everything looks good. South Valley traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie's taking off runway 34 for southbound departure, South Valley.
800 feet remaining.
This is has a turbocharger in this plane. You'll feel it kick in here when we start going, but kind of nice, especially in the summer when it gets less dense air.
A little bit hotter.
Yeah. Okay, airspeed's alive. Gauges are in the green. Oh, there it goes. Waiting for 75. Landing gear's coming up. Flaps are out. South Valley traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie's turning left crosswind 34, South Valley. Yeah, it's nice and nice lift today because it's cold. I usually don't get up that high that quick. South Valley traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie's turning left downwind for runway 34, South Valley. Alright, so we're at pattern altitude right here, so we'll level off. RPM's down to 2400. Just changing the pitch of the propeller there. Then I trim it so I don't have to, you know, fight. Little foggy.
Yeah, they said there's a little bit of inversion starting to build.
Yeah, sometimes when you get that inversion, it gets it's calm underneath, and then when you get above, it gets you get some wind shear, you know. But wasn't too bad taking off today. South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is exiting the pattern on the downwind southbound at 5,700 South Valley. So I always keep this GPS, tells me how far away I am from the airports.
Okay.
And then this one's my map, you know. See, here's our plane. That little green ring is our glide distance, so if we lost our engine, we could make it that far.
Okay.
So I'm constantly looking to see where I can land, you know.
Yeah.
Just in case. Fields are good, roads are bad because of power lines and people and cars. Alright. So slow this down a little bit. Okay, you want to fly?
Certainly.
Okay, put your feet on the rudder. You don't have to worry about those too much. There's the ball I was telling you about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I usually hold one hand. It's up to you. You won't need to do the microphone, the button, or anything.
Okay.
So you know what the controls are?
Refresh my memory.
So pushing forward goes down, right? Pulling up goes up. You want to make sure right here we're not going above this altitude. We want to stay below 6,000. Okay?
Okay.
And then right and left is just right and left. And when you do a turn, the plane tends to want to dip its nose, right? So when you turn, you want to just slightly pull back just to keep your altitude.
Okay.
Okay, you have flight controls.
I have flight controls.
Okay, just head towards the point of the mountain.
Okay.
There's some restricted airspace over Camp Williams that we just want to not fly through unless it's not active. And we'll talk to ATC here in a minute. So we want to still stay under 6,000. We're almost. Usually when you get to Bangalore, right before Bangalore, you can climb up to 8,000, below 8,000. So.
Can almost get that there. We'll use the center.
Let's see. South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is 7 miles south of the field at 5,700 southbound. Last call. We're just over Bangalore heading towards Utah County. Salt Lake approach, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie. Okay, start pulling back and climbing just a little bit. You want to climb at about 100 knots. So watch this, and as soon as it gets...
49, Salt Lake approach, expect runway 34 right, descend to maintain 10,000. 2049, X-rays now, okay.
So if you get...
Mike Charlie, Salt Lake approach, call 0357.
0357, Mike Charlie. So if you're going faster, that means you're going down, right? If you're slowing up, that means you're climbing. So keep pulling back until you...
Mike Charlie, better contact 12 miles north of Fairfield, GOL. Send right to Lucky 3035 to destination.
3035, and we're just going to fly around Utah County. You wanted traffic advisories if possible, Mike Charlie? Okay, so...
2849, clear direct Algae, join the runway 34 right, localizer.
You want to just pull back and keep climbing. Pull back until this gets around 95 to 100 knots.
Okay.
And then just keep it at 95 to 100 knots. And then you'll keep climbing. We'll climb up to about 7,500. Can you tell that the nose just went down?
Yep.
Yep. Man, that sun's bright right in your eyes.
54 ready contact, Bullock Center 125.57. 4288, maintain 210 knots greater. 4288, clear visual approach, 384 right.
So keep climbing. Got about 800 more feet to go. The reason I'm having you go up to 7,500 is because the top of Provo's airspace is 7,000. And if we stay above it, we don't need to worry about talking to them. We'll just talk to Salt Lake, and they'll just keep us on their frequency. So. Yep, keep going up just about 400 more feet.
I'm going right into the sun.
I know.
About 7,500?
Yep. You know, I learned on steam gauges, and I tend to look at this more for some reason. So about right here, start leveling off. And then just every once in a while, just glance at this or this and make sure that you're not descending, or there's a little bug I put here at 7,500. Okay. So you can see it there.
Okay, 4288, maintain 170 knots or greater to Chabelle.
Yeah, we're climbing, so level off there.
2395 by the airport side, 11 o'clock, 25 miles.
Just do small adjustments. You can tell if you're climbing just by looking out over the nose. I know it's kind of bright, but if you look compared to the mountains, you can tell if your nose starts going up or down. Right now it's going up a little bit. Are you fighting it? Are you? No. If you feel like you're pulling or pushing too much, this trim right here will relieve your pressure, and you can trim it so it just.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Delta 2395, just going to maintain 9,000, and we're trying to figure out the visibility here. Is there haze out there? Is it clouds in the way?
We'll go down to Nephi and we'll land and do a touch and go.
Sounds good.
That's considered a cross country.
438 radar contact 4 miles west.
It's 51 miles away from South Valley.
Ah, okay.
So
6,740. 438, roger.
Phone going.
Look at that. Texting and flying.
Not trying to text at all. Leave me alone. Just an alarm.
Just kind of follow I-15. The other day I flew up here with
395, you're over altitude.
a young eagle, this girl that was, let me think, what was it? I think it was a 17-year-old girl from Payson High, and I brought this other guy, that a friend of mine,
cleared visual approach, runway 34 right, maintain 170 knots.
and we took her on her first flight. We flew up Provo Canyon and went up to Heber, and the whole lake, the whole city of Heber was like under fog. You couldn't even see it. That was kind of fun.
Contact tower 119.05 with you.
And there's like nobody flying in Provo either.
Lake approach 433. We are heading back to Provo, and we do have Delta. That's right. Who's back to Provo with Delta? Wolf 33. Wolf 33, roger. Delta 2849 should be pick up the airport here in the next few miles. It's 12 o'clock and 22 miles.
You're like a pro.
Delta 2849, thanks. Clear visual approach, runway 34 right. Do not exceed 210 knots. Delta 2049, do not exceed 210 knots.
When you called and texted, I was with the family. And,
Wolf 33, contact Provo.
My wife goes,
over to Provo Tower. Have a good morning, Wolf 33.
What was that? Oh, all my friends at the temple, they wanted to go fly. You're going. She knows how much I like to fly.
Spectrum nice. 34 right, to maintain 10,000.
So don't descend too far right here. We're about to go into Provo airspace. We need to stay above 7,000. So try to stay about 7,500. You see Provo Airport?
I don't know where it is, but I see it right now. Oh yeah, I see it up there. Get out of there.
See, I distracted you and made you lose 100 feet.
Yeah.
That's what your instructors do.
Yeah.
While you're concentrating, they're over here flipping switches, and sometimes they'll just reach over and bring your throttle down and say, "What are you going to do?"
You slash 2049 traffic into 11 o'clock, 5 miles, base turn for only 34 left, D175 descending out of 9,000.
So we got a plane over here over Mapleton that's 2,800 feet below us. So let's just kind of start heading towards Payson area. Do you know where that is?
Towards Nebo?
Yep. Kind of head that way. Normally I don't fly right over Provo, but nobody's even there. Just make sure you stay at about 75 and we're good.
Yeah, there was, when we had some of the fires up in Provo Canyon.
Yeah.
My brother was flying in, and they had, about a 10,000 foot ceiling, and then to drop down to Provo as soon as you came out of the canyon. And that was...
Pick up water.
Yeah. Well, they were...
Delta 2849, contact tower 119.
They were really working on it, because it was ceiling and then dropped down to land in Provo.
Yeah.
So you had to take a pretty good, pretty good opportunity to kind of, take off some airspeed. Scared my nephew that's getting married on this next Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Down in Payson, actually. So.
Yeah, we lived right by the temple. 5 years ago we moved to PG, but we were part of the whole temple, open house, and my kids were all in the cultural celebration and everything.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That's cool.
Did you go to that?
I did. I went to the open house. My daughter was just about, I think she was just about ready to go on her mission, or...
Yeah.
She wanted to go to the Provo, or to the Payson Temple, so we took off and went down. My wife and I and her just kind of took the opportunity to go down.
We had a way cool experience at the cultural celebration. we all got there, and all the kids have been practicing for 16 weeks before. That was all the youth activities for 16 weeks, learning all the dances and everything.
Yeah.
And we get there, and it's just a downpour. It's coming down so fast that it's starting to pool up on the football field, and that's like unheard of because it's designed to drain.
Yeah.
You know, and lightning and everything. So they evacuated the stadium. Everyone went underneath the bleachers. We're all underneath the bleachers waiting it out, and some kid where we were on the north end says, just kind of head down this gully. We're going to go to Nephi. He yells to everyone, he says, everybody, let's kneel down and pray so we can do what we've been practicing for so the rain will stop. So everybody, like thousands of people, all kneel down. He says a prayer, and within 30 seconds, the rain stops. Like, boom, it's like gone. They all go out there, and they do their thing, and like 2 minutes after they're done, it just comes back and starts pouring again.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
All right, so as we get closer, I'm gonna look up the nearest airport here, and I'm gonna tune in the frequency of the ATIS, except for I don't want to do this. I'm gonna look it up on my. So we're heading to Spanish Fork. So the ATIS is
3967.
123.075.
12 o'clock, 23 miles. 3967, cleared visual approach, runway 34 right.
So we're going to switch that, and we're going to get the weather as we get closer. Salt Lake approach, Aero 28 Mike Charlie.
Aero 28 Mike Charlie, Salt Lake approach.
Yeah, we're going to go down to Nephi and do a touch and go. So as we get a little south, we'll probably lose you and then come back. Hey, Mike Charlie.
Aero 8 Mike Charlie, roger. Yeah, I'll give you flight following here for another 10 miles or so before I lose.
Roger, 8 Mike Charlie. Okay, so we got the weather channel. We got 118.275.
3684, Fox approach, roger.
118.
Speed to 210, then it's going to maintain 11,500 to 11.5.
0.275, and then we're going to 123.075. 123.075. That's the frequency in Nephi. So I got all those ready. The key to doing it is staying ahead of the plane, right? Getting ready for what comes next.
Got 3684, flighting 140.
So let's see if we can pick up the weather.
With 3967, maintain 170 knots or greater to Chevelle.
Nephi Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation. 1516 Zulu. Weather. Wind. Calm. Visibility. 10, clear. Below. 12,000. Temperature. -2 Celsius. Dew point. -6. Altimeter. Missing. Remarks. Density altitude. Missing.
Okay, so wind's calm. Usually the altimeter, I'll set it here so we're at the right altitude, but it's missing. So we'll just leave it at what we have. The ATC guy might give it to us. He might have better information. So what that means is the calm wind in Nephi,
3684, maintain 190 knots or less off the base turn for you in just a moment.
I believe is runway 17, okay, which is the direction we're heading, right? So we can just go and do a straight in and do a touch and go.
1634, flag approach, descend to maintain 10,000.
I don't see, I see one plane down there, but he's already 1,500 feet above us, so he's probably not going into Nephi. So see these little hills in front of us? Yep. Just kind of go to the left of them. You can go over them if you want, but
Might be a little rougher air.
Yeah, you'll get some bumps possibly. Maybe not today. It's cold and calm, so. Nephi's airport is kind of in the middle of that valley, past those buildings off the right, okay. More that way. So if we do this, we do, let's see, nearest, we do direct to, let's see, what's it, it's U14. So if I come in here and I just do U.
Yeah, 3684 by the airport inside it's north and.
Now we got a pink line going right at it.
Go 3684, flighting 010 to join final, clear visual approach, runway 34 right.
So the altitude at that airport is 5,022, so about 5,000. Okay. So pattern altitude, you know what pattern altitude would be?
I don't.
It's always about 1,000 feet above
okay.
the airport, so 6,000 basically. So we're at 7,500. So as we get closer, we'll want to start descending, and when we're about 3 miles away, we want to be at about 6,000 feet.
Okay.
And I'll take controls when we start getting close to landing.
That was 3967, contact tower 119.05 today.
Can't believe all the houses they're building out here.
I know.
Aero 28 Mike Charlie, radar service terminate, squawk VFR, frequency change approved, no traffic observed between you and Nephi Airport.
Alright, squawk and talk VFR, thanks for your help, Mike Charlie.
No problem.
Alright, so I'm going to go to VFR 1200, and we're going to switch frequencies, and we're going to, so we're at about 14 miles away. Nephi traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie, is 13 miles north of the field over Santaquin at 7,500, inbound for landing. We're going to do a touch and go, runway 17, straight in approach, Nephi traffic. Nobody's flying over there, so no one's probably hearing us, but.
Y'all got to make an announcement.
Yep. I can see the airport, so tell me when you can see the airport.
I don't know where it is, so that's...
So if you look at
right
this
okay.
on my screen, you can see which way the runway goes, right?
Okay.
So that will give you a hint of what angle to look.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Can you? Okay. That's where we're heading. So we want to go over and kind of do a straight in. So just kind of keep heading that way, and then when we get
to the right and then come back,
then go left. We're going to just go straight into runway 17. So yep, go to the right and then turn when we are straight lined up. All right, so I'm going to start doing my landing checklist, which is GUMPs. So gas, I've already switched tanks just recently, so I'm on the fullest tank. Undercarriage, we are slow enough to bring the landing gear down, so I'm going to bring it down now. And you'll feel a drag.
Yeah, I can already feel it.
And you'll probably need to start pulling the yoke back to stay level. You can start descending now, just slowly. Okay, we got 3 green. All right, mixture, full. We're good on mixture. Prop full forward, landing lights on. You got your seatbelts on. All right, landing checklist is complete. And so you can start descending. Just go about 500 feet a minute. So this little needle should be right about that 5. You'll also see this little pink strip right here, about right there. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. Nephi traffic, Aero 2 Mike Charlie is 8 miles north of the field. We're going to do a straight in, touch and go, runway 17, Nephi traffic. Okay, 3 in the green, gear down. I always check that at least 3 times. I don't want to land with the gear up. That would be bad.
Yeah. So you gotta have that down.
Alright, my flight controls.
Flight controls.
Alright. Go ahead and take you can leave your feet on, just don't push them. You can feel like what I do with the rudder. Nephi traffic, Aero 2 Mike Charlie is 5.5 miles, final runway 17, touch and go, Nephi. Some of these, so this plane has a 200 horsepower engine, and it's got a turbo, so you have to be careful when you start descending. There is no, it's fuel injected, so there's no carb heat, you know, but you have to be careful not to shock cool the engine. So sometimes you have to keep the speed, the throttle up, so you don't like drop, you know, go from like 380 down to like 280 and real quick, and then lose your ruin the engine. Yeah.
Does it have a Lycoming engine in it?
The Continental.
It's got the Continental.
Yep. Okay, we're 3.5, so I'm gonna slow down a little bit so I can get my flaps starting to go down. I want to get in this white arc right here for a pull flaps. Nephi traffic, Aero 2 Mike Charlie is 3 miles, final 17, touch and go, Nephi. We want to be about 75 knots when we land, so still need to slow down. 2 miles. Doesn't look like 2 miles, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Nephi traffic, Aero 2 Mike Charlie is 2 mile, final 17, touch and go, Nephi.
Little airport.
Yep. Do a lot of flying to this little airport from South Valley because it's just barely over and it's a cross country, you know. And you have to do your cross country hours. Nephi traffic, Aero 2 Mike Charlie is 1 mile, final runway 17, touch and go, Nephi. Okay, so I'm 85 knots. My toes are up, I don't want to hit the brakes. I'm at 80 knots. Green to green, gear down. All right. Okay, 75. Okay, gears coming up. And the best rate of climb is 90 knots. So I always climb at about 90 when I'm taking off. Nephi traffic, Aero 2 Mike Charlie's turning left crosswind 17, Nephi. Nephi traffic, Arrow 2 Mike Charlie is turning left downwind 17 Nephi. I kind of fly close traffic patterns because this plane likes to drop. If we ever lost our engine in this plane, it will we would barely make it to that runway. That's how fast it loses altitude because it's heavy.
Yeah.
When I first learned, I would fly out further because the plane I learned in had a better glide, right?
Yeah.
And this one just doesn't. So I try to, about halfway through my wing, I keep that runway about halfway through my wing, and then I know I'll be able to make it if I lose my engine. So it just depends on the plane that you're flying, what you do, you know. All right. Turn the landing light off. We'll start climbing. Nephi traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is exiting the pattern on the downwind, heading back north at 6,200 Nephi. All right, so you want to fly again?
Sure.
Okay, you have flight controls.
I have flight control.
Okay, so we want to climb, so keep climbing at about 500, 600 feet a minute here.
Okay.
And
what are we climbing to?
climb to about go to 7,500 again. We're gonna go over this way though, and we're gonna go on the other side of Utah Lake.
Okay.
So we'll pass on the right side of Fairfield Mountain.
Okay.
Right. So just right over Saratoga Springs. See that little smoke stack steam coming up? Just aim right towards that.
Okay.
It's really nice sometimes in the morning like this. There's like no other planes out here. You don't have to worry about traffic, you know, it's kind of nice.
That does make it nice.
See, we're going 100 knots, which is 10 knots faster than best climb speed, and we're climbing at 600, 100 feet a minute, which is kind of nice. That's what a bigger engine turbo gives you, right? So we're climbing at almost 800, 900 feet a minute, and we're still not at 90. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of nice to be able to climb quick. Like when we took off from Las Vegas, there was a mountain right in front of where you take off.
Yeah.
You had to climb really quick in order to get up over it. And in a small little trainer, sometimes you can't do that, you know. And if you feel like you're pulling too much, just adjust this trim. So, is it all right?
Yeah, so far.
When we get over here by the lake, oh, actually, that's West Mountain. That's Fairfield, so aim towards that one.
That's what I thought.
Yep. Just go straight over the lake, right towards that little peninsula that comes off Fairfield. Okay. We'll go right over that peninsula. Alright, so flight plan, menu. Direct to U42. So yeah, we're about 7,700 now, so go back down a couple 100 feet. And if it feels like it's climbing, just adjust the trim a little bit.
Oh, it's climbing a little bit. There we go. That's better.
Now you got the sun in your side.
Yeah, much better. Warm you up a little bit, but not be in your eyes.
So before we get to the lake, you want to do a turn?
Sure.
Okay, so when we get over Goshen here, I used to take scouts camping in Goshen Canyon a lot. Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good little place to go. One time a couple years ago, I was scoutmaster right up until the end of scouts. I took my scouts over here from Pleasant Grove, and overnight it was like 12 degrees. It was cold.
Yeah.
And one of the boys didn't bring a good sleeping bag, and he was pretty miserable.
I was scoutmaster for quite a while, and they had we used to take them out to 5 Mile Pass. Yeah, because we were right there in Lehigh.
Yeah.
And went out there one night, and it dropped and snowed overnight, and it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't have any problem because I usually take a minus 35 degree bag, regardless of where I am, because it's lightweight.
Yeah.
You know, whatever's there, I'm good.
I have a nice double wide 0 degree bag with flannel on the inside.
I have one of those too.
Oh,
Love it.
Teton brand. Oh, it's
I've had it for a long time. My daughter actually took it from me.
that's the best.
She's up in Rexburg, or lives up in Cedar City or Sugar City, and you know, she was going up into her and her husband were going up to Yellowstone, so they came and borrowed it. I never got it back. I gotta go buy another one.
Nephi traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is 7,500 and about 13 miles north of the field over Goshen. And this is the last call. We're heading northbound, Nephi traffic. Get back with Salt Lake here. After we do a couple of circles, we'll go back with them.
November 0 Mike Papa, maintain 170 knots to turn.
Alright, so anytime you want, what you want to do when you do is, you want to kind of glance at this, okay, and try to maintain your altitude,
okay,
when you do a turn. So if it starts going down, you need to pull back just a little bit, but keep your angle, okay?
okay,
And you want to turn, if you're going to turn left, turn to that notch right there,
okay,
okay? If you turn right, turn to that notch right there.
okay.
So, yep. So about right there, and then make sure you pull back or else you'll start losing. And then turn. Keep your angle. Push forward just a touch. Yep. Keep turning.
That is kind of a different...
Right there, actually, that's a steep turn angle right there, and you have to do that for a private pilot.
Uh-huh.
That little notch right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just lost 200 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, now straighten out. Okay, now do a right turn.
Okay.
And go between that notch and that notch.
Okay.
And then just kind of watch your altitude. Okay, whoop, too far. Right there. You don't want to go past that little notch or else we're illegally banking too much. Whoop. You got to watch your speed too. Push forward. There you go. You don't want to slow up so much that go ahead and bank more right. If you slow up too much, you'll stall. Bank a little bit more. You want to go to about that little notch there. Okay. Push forward just a little bit. Bank more. And pull back just a touch. Bank more. There you go. The best way to do these is watch your horizon and just keep your horizon on the same part of the dashboard. There you go, and then push forward when you level off a little.
Is there Mike up? Contact tower 113 with you.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a maneuver that you have to pass off to get your private. Is you do a steep turn and you turn all the way to this notch or this notch, okay. And you have to maintain that angle, and you can't lose more than 100 feet either side of your. You can't go over 100 feet or below 100 feet of your starting, and you do a whole 360. That's called a steep turn.
Okay.
And then you also learn stalls. Have you ever done stalls?
I never have.
We won't do it today, but basically what you do is there's power on stalls and power off stalls. You simulate power off coming into land, but you do it up high, and then you just keep pulling back until the airplane starts buffeting, and then the nose will drop, and that's when you lose lift and you stall.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And then you learn how to recover. You push forward, give it...
762, contact tower 119.05.
I can't think of what this is called. Throttle.
Okay.
You give it throttle and you push forward and you level off and you gain your speed back, right? And then there's the power on stall, which is simulating taking off. If you have full power, in this plane we don't ever do full power because it'll just ruin the engine and you'll go straight up. But and you can't do aerobatics in this plane. It's not rated for it. So you put the power on, you pull back until the plane stalls, and then you recover. You have to learn those and demonstrate those on your private pilot check ride, so they know that you can recover from a stall.
Right.
So whenever we go over water, this little green glide circle, I always get high enough that I can glide to either the shore behind me or the shore in front of me. Okay. Right? That way I don't have to land in the water. If you ever fly over water where you can't glide to the edge, you legally have to wear a life preserver while you're flying, just in case. So you don't have to worry about finding it if you have an engine out, you know.
Right.
Alright, let's call Salt Lake. Salt Lake approach, Aero 28 Mike Charlie. We're just west of West Mountain at 7,500. Back with you. That mountain might be blocking us from Salt Lake.
Aircraft on approach, you're really broken, non-readable.
Yeah, this is Aero 28 Mike Charlie. We're just at the south tip of Utah Lake at 7,500. Yeah, we'll wait till we get over there. Probably need to get up.
28 Mike Charlie, rise. I got you a little bit better there. Squawk 0356.
0356, Mike Charlie. You know, when I first got my license, the biggest fear was talking to air traffic control.
Charlie, radar contact about 10 miles southwest of Provo Airport. Altimeter 3037. Say your altitude and your request.
3037, and position checks, and we're just heading back to South Valley, Mike Charlie.
Tower 28, Mike Charlie, roger. Radio's much better now, thanks.
Mike Charlie. All right, so my biggest fear was talking to air traffic control because I'm an introvert. I do not like being up in front of people. You know, like officiating, like freaks me out. But after I do it a few times, I'm okay. Talking to air traffic control was I was just terrified of it.
Yeah.
And just to fly down to Provo where they have a tower, I was like, I didn't want to do it. And even after I got my private pilot, I went into Salt Lake one time, and it was so much radio, I was just like terrified. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And then coming down to Provo, we did that a few times, and I was just scared. And so I would avoid Class D, that's Class D airspace. Class B in Salt Lake, I would just avoid it. I would just fly around it. I didn't even want to go in it. And then in 2019, I decided to do my instrument rating. And man, you have to talk on the radio. I mean, you have to. And I did it out of Provo, and I practiced there with the tower and the ground. So you have to go to one frequency for ground taxiing, then you go to tower. Salt Lake, you actually have to go, there's approach, then there's tower, and then there's ground, and then there's clearance delivery, and then you talk to clearance delivery, and then you go to ground.
Charlie traffic, 2 to 3 o'clock, 2 miles northbound, altitude indicates 8,100.
All right, look for that traffic, Mike Charlie. I don't see him on my screen either. It said 2 o'clock, huh?
Should be here.
Please NT 1197, flight present heading vectors around some traffic and for the visual approach here.
Anyways, I was just scared, and so when I did my instrument rating, you have to fly at least 50 more hours, all like with a hood like this, where you can't look out the window, you can only see your instruments, with your instructor sitting there. And he's just like, my instructor was a retired colonel from the Air Force. He flew A-10s.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, acting as air traffic, and then air traffic was talking to me, and it was just like overwhelmed. And after a little while, you get used to it, and then just practicing, you know, you finally get used to it.
1197, turn 5 degrees right,
and then
airport side.
Now I'm not afraid of it. I'll fly anywhere.
5 degrees right.
Like when we flew to Las Vegas, I mean, we flew right through their Class B airspace. They flew us right over the international airport, and right over downtown, and then no big deal, you know. So, and I've flown into Salt Lake a few times.
Mike Charlie, traffic pass high off your left-hand side there. They're currently about 8 o'clock and 3 miles northbound Airbus 329,500. They'll be passing out in front of you, going to runway 13 Provo.
All right, yeah, we have them inside here, Mike Charlie.
Roger.
That plane right there is coming in to land at Provo, and he's gonna go to this. There's a navigation device on top of this mountain,
Top of West Mountain.
3, so like approach, roger.
and he's gonna go right over it, and then he's gonna do an approach into Provo. So we're gonna go down a little bit. So just start slowly going down. Then we'll just stay clear of him.
And Aero 8 Mike Charlie, I'm going to have another similar sounding call sign on frequency here. I've got a Hawker 7 Mike Charlie as well.
Roger, 8 Mike Charlie.
Please into 1197, the Aero has you in sight there at 3 o'clock, 2 miles, 7,400.
We're still with Norwegian to 1197.
Salt Lake approach is 6412 active today.
Negative, restrict area 6412 is cold.
All right, thanks, 8 Mike Charlie. So go down a little bit further.
We'll contact.
One thing that we need to worry about is those big heavy airplanes, they create vortices off their wingtips, and it's called wake turbulence, and it falls down and it blows with the air. We don't want to get into their...
Mike Charlie, Salt Lake approach, roger, expect runway 35 at Salt Lake, and use caution, I've got a Piper 8 Mike Charlie also on a different frequency.
I was going to say, that sounded like ours.
November 8 Mike Charlie, could just pass west of the Airbus, they're starting their base turn now, looks like.
Alright, we'll pass left of the Airbus 8 Mike Charlie. So turn left a little bit.
November 907 Mike Charlie, descend and maintain 10,000, 10,000.
Keep turning left.
Please into 1197. The Piper, like I said, has you in sight. They're going to pass behind you there. They're turning to the left a little bit.
Alright, thanks, Solution 1197.
They're landing at Provo. That's a Legion. So, you see where he is? There's a
07 Mike Charlie, clear direct helmet.
There's a little wake turbulence going behind him, and it falls down. So, we just want to make sure we don't hit that, or else it'll be a little turbulent. We may
1197 traffic, no factor, contact Provo Tower 125.3. Good day.
Let's climb a little bit.
Wolf 38 traffic, 11 o'clock, 4 miles. Appears to be same direction right now. Altitude indicates 8,400.
We're looking for that traffic. We'll see it.
November 8 Mike Charlie, thanks for the help. You can resume on navigation.
Resume on navigation, 8 Mike Charlie, thanks. Climb up to about 75. Is it hard to pull back?
Not bad.
Okay. Okay, turn right a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so we're already in the boundaries of Class B, but we're below it. As soon as we get past the lake, we'll start descending again. I just wanted to make sure we didn't...
November 8 Mike Charlie, traffic 1 o'clock, 3 miles opposite direction, Skyhawk 7,600.
Look for that traffic, 8 Mike Charlie.
Skyhawk 4 Victor Echo, traffic 1 o'clock, 3 miles
Man,
opposite
he's
direction.
not on my screen either.
300.
What's going on here?
Searching for traffic, 734 Victor Echo.
Public approach, Archer 30270,
Interesting. My traffic actually looks like it's turned off. Oh, it disconnected.
Traffic inside 734 Victor Echo.
I'm going to connect to this guy. Okay, start descending now, slowly.
Public approach, Archer 30270, level 6,400. 30270, flag approach, good morning. Level altimeter is 302.
Okay, I see him on the screen now. So he's just over here somewhere, and he's about 100 feet above us. Not too far, it's almost the same altitude. See him? Oh, there he is, crossing the mountain.
Yeah.
We have that traffic in sight passing our right now, 8 Mike Charlie.
Hey, Mike Charlie, copy, thank you.
Alright, so let's start descending and head towards
7 Mike Charlie, Flight Airport North and 23 miles.
just right over this mountain. Do you see where the airport is?
I do.
Just head straight to the airport. Wonder why...
Just cross pedal at 10,000, cleared visual approach from 835.
Wonder why this device stopped working. Wonder if the batteries...
I am having to push.
Airport Victor Echo, additional traffic.
So trim it. Is that better? Just push this roll forward until it's a little bit better. So if you let go, what does it do? Wants to climb?
Yeah.
Okay. Let go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. We want to get below 6,000 before Bangalore.
Mike Charlie, you parking at TAC Air Atlantic today. Copy that.
Interesting.
Yeah, my house is like right over there.
Oh, okay. On this side of I-15?
Yep.
There's I have a friend that lives over in that area. Do you know any,
November 8, Mike Charlie, no traffic observed between you and South Bay Regional Airport. Radar service is now terminated. Squawk VFR, frequency changes approved. Have a great day.
All right, Squawk and Talk VFR, thanks for your help, Mike Charlie.
Yeah.
1227. Let's get the weather.
5-1 Zulu, weather, wind, calm, visibility 10, 6,000, scattered, temperature 1 Celsius, dew point -2, altimeter 3037.
100 Loma, self-service pump, out of service. The FDL will be closed.
All right, so do you know an Andrew Schneider?
Don't.
No? We're going through restricted airspace right here, but it's not active. This whole...
Your old NSA in Camp Williams.
Yep. If it's active, you just don't fly through it because they're doing shooting and different things. Sometimes they'll say it's active up to 9,000 feet, you know, and then you just stay away from it. All right, so once we get to below 6,000 here, I'll take controls and we'll go land. There's a few little bumps over those hills, not much today.
No, it's been a pretty nice ride.
All right, my flight controls.
Your flight controls.
All right. Going 143 knots. So that's like 160 miles an hour.
Got a little bit of a tailwind.
Yep. Yeah, our airspeed's only 124, but we're going 136. Said wind's calm at the airport. We're going to get the weather one more time.
South Valley Regional Airport.
Right.
Automated weather observation 1553 Zulu, weather, wind, calm, visibility 10, 6,000, scattered, temperature 1 Celsius, dew point -2, altimeter 3037.
Well, it's calm. We can pick whatever we want, I guess. Might as well do a straight in. Okay, so we're under, if we get under 116 knots, then we can bring the gear down. We're on the fullest tank. Pull up just a little bit to lose a knot. Okay, landing gear's coming down. Top full forward, mixture rich. Landing lights on, seatbelts on. We're 5 miles. South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie's on a 5-mile final, runway 34, full stop, South Valley. Okay, 3 in the green, gear down. You see those red lights? You know what those are for?
Don't.
So that's the glide slope indicator. What you want, if all 4 are white, that means you're too high. If all 4 are red, you're too low. You want 2 white and 2 red.
Okay.
That'll tell you if you're right on the glide slope. We're pretty far out and we're staying below the Class B airspace, so we're okay right now. So we'll just stay level, and as we get closer, we'll start getting white lights.
Okay.
And once we get 2 white lights, then we're on the right glide slope.
I did not know.
And if you're on the frequency of the airport and you key your mic, you can turn the lights on at the airport.
On the unmanned ones?
Yeah, you either do 3, 5, or 7 clicks for the low, medium, or high intensity.
Okay.
So we got 1 white light. Okay, so we're 3 miles. I'm going to pull 1 notch of flaps. Turning the green gear down.
2.
So once we get 2, we want to start kind of descending. Okay. South Valley traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie's on a 2-mile final, runway 34, full stop, South Valley. Turning the green gear down. South Valley traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie is 1 mile final, runway 34, full stop, South Valley. Okay, turning the green gear down. Last notch of flaps. We're at about 90 knots, so just slow down a little. My toes are up. Turning the green gear down. South Valley traffic, Aero 28 Mike Charlie is clear of the runway at Alpha 3, taxiing to the FBO ramp via taxiway Bravo, South Valley. Yeah, that's Randon's there. That's where you went.
Yep.
Yeah. What plane did you fly? Do you remember?
We flew one of the Pivers.
Was it an orange one?
I think so.
That's the one I did all my private in and did my check ride and everything in. 8750 Echo.
I don't even remember the.
He has a red, white, and blue one. The white one with red and blue stripes. That one's 40670. I think that one's right there. That 9951 Victor, I've flown that one. I did all my instrument in Cessna 172s.
Okay.
And did my private in a Piper Archer. Cessna 172s with the high wing, man, they fly really nice.
Oh.
They're nice and docile, and man, it's like hard to stall them, and I really liked the way they flew. All right. All right, we need to let the turbocharger cool off. So while we do that, we're gonna switch this over to connect to my phone. Can you grab that paper down there? Right. What's today? 27th. 11/27. See, look at this. See how many Jasons there are? Jay took a week. He's my partner. He took a week off and he flew every day for a week, but normally it's just all Jason and then like one Jay. Let's see. 11/27/2021. Jason. 917. 0. So that was a 1.7 hour flight. And I'm probably going to put a quart of oil in it when we park it. I'll mark that later.
Satellite traffic, Cessna 162 Pop, team taxiing North Shade, runway 160 Bravo.
So, what do you think? Alright, go to my checklist. Engine cool down. I just want to see what the turbo inlet temperature. Oh, I just passed it. Okay. That's good. It's under 1,000. Engine cool down. Flaps are retracted. Avionics off.